From the game's opening kick, the Buckeyes appeared ready to play.
And here comes Battle. Hole in the middle.
People were moving that game, and I think that was the highest level of football I had ever seen at the college level.
Down at the 15-yard line, and there's the big cat rolling.
And with the Ohio State defense handling the snake,
Plummer in trouble, going down.
the Buckeye offense drew first blood.
Fires, and with the ball caught, let's see, the officials are conferring touchdown.
Well, that kind of got the ball rolling, kind of let us all know, hey, we're here. And I think it let ASU know, too, that we've forgotten the game prior, and we were here for business.
The score remained 7-zip until the closing minutes of the half, when Plummer and the Sun Devils finally broke through with a spectacular, if disputed, score.
It was two great teams out there making plays, and that's a hard call to make. You got a DB who's all over him. The kid's got to go out there and make an exceptional catch, and he, made what looked like a catch.
They were going to make some plays. We were going to make them earn everything they got.
When ASU opened the second half with a go-ahead field goal, they briefly appeared to have grabbed momentum.
Devils into their first lead of the day.
But just 2 plays later, the Buckeyes struck back with their biggest pass play of the year.
Fires completes it to Stanley. He might go all the way. 30, 20, 10, 5, and some.
I'm like, they're playing me man coverage, and the safety's cheap down, and if you throw me the ball across the middle, I'll score.
We worked on that post route that we threw for a month to prepare for that game. And it worked out just like we practiced, and he took it all the way.
With the Buckeyes back in the lead, the game began to resemble a heavyweight bout, with each side searching for the decisive blow.
As the game's starting to wind down and both teams are just battling, and a few big plays had been made at that point.
He's free. Sauer in a foot race has the aim.
But we weren't putting them away. We weren't knocking them out.
With time running out, the Sun Devils pushed deep into Buckeye territory. Bottled up for most of the game, Jake the Snake sprang to life. On 4th and 4, Plummer hit Lindsey Jackson to keep the Devils' drive alive.
Got it. First and goal for the Sun Devils.
3 plays later, the Snake slithered his way into the end zone.
Still on his feet. He's going to dive for the end zone, and he scores a touchdown.
It was a punch in the gut. I mean, we have him so dead to rights that it's just insane. He just makes, what, 4 or 5 guys miss? I can't explain that.
I can definitely remember, like the wind coming out of us.
I just remember being out there and just thinking, geez, I mean, how can we do this well, and to have it come down to the end, it can't end this way. Not again.
While the Sun Devils celebrated seeming victory, the Buckeyes regrouped for one last drive.
That didn't bother me. It's like, all right, they scored, now we got to go.
We got time. We've got plenty of time here. And I look over and Joe Germain, he's thinking the same thing.
We knew what we had to do, and I didn't have to give him some big motivating speech. Just that look in my eye and to look in everybody else's eye, and that's all it took.
With just 1:33 left to play, Germain and the Buckeyes began their furious race to beat the clock.
And it wasn't a question in our mind. It wasn't a question from our offensive line whether they were going to hold up or whether Joe Germain was going to make the good pass. It was a question of, do you have enough time?
Joe Germain, he hit 3 third down passes to Demetrius Stanley. And then Ohio State, with the aid of a couple of penalties, ends up with the ball at the Arizona State 5-yard line, 24 seconds to go.
Straight back to throw. Has time. Swings it out right side. Completes it. Boston's into the end zone. Touchdown, Ohio State.
There's only 19 seconds on the clock, and David Boston has just scored one of the biggest touchdowns in Ohio State football history.
We knew at that point that this is a done deal, and we were Rose Bowl champions, and it was just a wild celebration.
I saw the cornerback who was guarding David Boston following my eyes in, kind of left his responsibility, and that just left David wide open.
To look around and just see the smiles on the faces and that look of like, finally, it was an amazing thing.
For Ohio State, the win raised the Buckeyes to a second-place finish in the polls and solidified their return to college football prominence. The 96 seniors spearheaded that return, and the Rose Bowl victory, their 41st in 4 years, made them Ohio State's winningest class ever.
To win in the fashion we did, on the stage we did, against the team we did, with the team that we had, you couldn't write a better ending.
For Coach John Cooper, who led the Sun Devils to a win over Michigan in the 1986 Rose Bowl, the win earned him the honor as the only coach to win Rose Bowls with 2 different teams.
To go back and be the only coach to win 2 Rose Bowls and beat the team that you left was very satisfying indeed for me.
And for the player who grew up within miles of the Arizona State campus, only to be spurned by his hometown team, the closing minutes of the 1997 Rose Bowl made Joe Germain a legend and an eternal Buckeye hero.
He was so cool and calm in that last drive. He was just cool as a cucumber.
A cool guy under pressure, and you don't really know how good he is until he's in those situations.
Just the feeling that we were able to come back to go ahead of them in the fashion that we did, it was an unbelievable feeling.